Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Welcome
Welcome to the darkness.
Yes.
So we assume something weird is about to happen, so we stopped, but it was also time to stop in the last episode.
Yes.
So we're just going to assume something weird is going to happen.
Yes,
There are appropriate warnings in the description if they apply.
Yes.
So go check there if you're also concerned.
Yes.
Okay?
Always.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Sayori isn't anywhere on the first floor, so I assume she's up in her room. It's already strange of her not to run down and greet me.
And to have everything in the house be completely pitch black.
I head up to her bedroom, where I finally find her.
In the black... Oh, there's a lot of light up there.
There's a crap ton of light. Like, what? Sayori!
Hi.
That's cute.
That is super adorable, and your room is adorable, and your plants don't even look super sad. Like, you're massively disorganized. Not so much. The fact that the bottom floor of your house is an inky black pit,
Right.
and going, yeah, I only do takeout up in my room and nothing else, because down there is where the bodies of my parents are quietly mummifying.
Yep, it's fine.
Yep. Hi, Splat.
I sit down in her room. Sayori forces a smile, but it's easy to tell that she's different.
That she's different from what?
That she's different? That is weird.
That is
There's a minute of silence between us.
You, haven't come over like this in a long time. Have you?
I guess you're right.
I wish she would have changed her hair for the weekend.
I know, it'd be cute.
I love her cute little clothes, and she looks so much more like a little girl.
She looks very comfortable, too.
She does. She looks very, very, like, cuddly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but, like, I wish they would have changed her hair, because she always wears that. On the other hand, that probably means that she really likes it.
Or, yeah, that's the one thing she feels like she can control.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
she's
like the
allowed,
rest-
like, it's something she likes even on her off days, and she gets to take it to school.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a long time.
I love
Not
the cow.
much has really changed, has it?
And
Also
the weird
duck.
judgy bird. Yeah.
Duck-bird thing. Like, that looks wild. Sayori's room is as messy as it's always been. I also recognize the same stuffed animals and wall decorations that she's had for years now.
One singular wall decoration.
Yeah, that's
just
it.
one.
Unless there's some on the side that we can't see.
It's true.
Like,
also,
I'm willing to let that kind of go just because it's been so good about everything else. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
had a couple of weird moments, like where it was talking about the school and some of the directions didn't seem to make a lot of sense, but yeah.
I'll say, but this, yeah, I'll certainly let it go. I love how incredibly judgy Splat is, though, because this is very little mess.
Right?
Like, there's like two things out of place.
I know.
And there's really this level of, yep, as messy and disgusting as always, because your bed's not made, and you have a thing thrown over your chair, your desk isn't completely empty, and something is falling off the top of your shelf. Done. End of
Done.
story. Bye.
Mess.
If you came over more often, it wouldn't be such a mess.
That's because I end up cleaning it for you.
And I don't stop you. How come you, suddenly wanted to come over today? Aren't you supposed to see, Natsuki today? Because we
How?
all talk to each other.
I was about to say, how the fuck did you know that?
I was just saying.
Yeah, but wait, how did you know that?
Yes, you're gonna ask.
Sayori had already left by the time we decided that last meeting.
No one ever asks those questions. Okay, so these are the types of things that I bitch about occasionally in a lot of these games, is basically that the narrative can assume that these things are fine and that the characters learned or communicated this off screen, or like I did, you can assume Sayori has other people's phone numbers in the club and that they're talking to each other. However, if it's not explicitly stated, you don't actually know that. And a lot of times it's also, there's times where it feels like the character, especially the MC, should ask how and why you have that information.
Right.
And they never do, so I kind of love this bit right there.
Yes.
Monica told me it's only natural for her to keep me informed about the festival preparations, right? Because I am the vice president.
That's true. But what about you? Aren't you going to be helping Monica today?
Of course. But I'm just helping her online.
What?
It's digital work anyway for, printed out posters and pamphlets and things.
What?
We didn't plan to meet up or anything.
So it's just me and Natsuki then.
Yep.
That seems weird why you guys wouldn't meet up, but okay.
I don't know how to do a yep. Like, how do you wiggle the yep?
Yep. It's fine. It doesn't.
I don't know, the little tilde. I'm like, I know what it's supposed to mean now, and I don't know how to make words do that. I need practice. Yep.
Hi! No, the thing is that I feel like it's just basically a long drawn out thing. It's not always wiggly. It's just the
Okay.
fact that it's going, yep!
guess.
There's more silence between us. Sayori stares in a random direction. Everything about her behavior is really uncharacteristic. I finally get to the point. I just wanted to see how you were doing. After you left on Friday, we did skip Saturday. What the fuck has happened to Saturday?
I was going to say, I think this... I was pretty sure this had been implied to be a 5-day week, and that there was a Saturday and Sunday, and we did just completely skip Saturday, didn't interact with anybody, me time,
Right?
on Saturday at all, and then we're like, well, I guess since we have to do shit today anyway, and we already had to get up and get dressed anyway, let's go over to Sayori's pitch black dungeon crawl and head up to her actual bedroom. Surprising she isn't downstairs in the inky blackness.
Weird.
Being sad about herself.
When something's wrong, you can't hide from me. I know you too well. So, Sayori smiles, shaking her head.
That's no good, Splat.
Why can't it just...
Wait. Why can't it just be like it's always been? You've ignored me for years. This is all my fault. If I didn't get so weak and accidentally express my feelings, if I didn't control if I could just control myself better, if I didn't make that stupid mistake of asking for your attention or being vulnerable, then you wouldn't have been worried about me at all, just like you normally aren't our whole lives. And you wouldn't have come here, and that was the point. You wouldn't have even been thinking about me right now, which is your usual state of existence. But this is just my punishment, isn't it? I'm getting punished for being so selfish as expressing myself to you. I think that's why the world decided to have you come over today.
What?
Not you, not me, the forces that are the world.
Is she also, like, aware of something going on, like, with Monica, where she's like, you really actually can't make a lot of choices?
I feel like there keeps being these sort of nods to more self-awareness, that they're in a game, or that things are driving things. If the world made you come over, the game itself made you come over today.
Right.
That's
like,
interesting.
You don't really have any choice.
And that's the type of language I would see in another game, and I wouldn't think of that, except for we have really had one character deliberately be fourth wall aware.
Right.
And then there's sort of nods that the other ones understand sort of the fate they're locked into.
Right.
And I'm just like, I do have this theory that the darkness is going to be that none of them have any relevance once the game is over, if you don't choose them.
Right.
And that kind of terrifies me. And that's a weird level of, like, meta-awareness, too, of, in all games ever, when you finish the game, are we theoretically saying the characters now just cease to exist if you didn't, basically engage with them in a theoretically continued timeline?
I mean, yes, depending on your game.
This is why in Off you kill absolutely everyone and everything, because none of it can exist once you turn the game off anyway. Except for I love that the judge survives, and that makes me very happy, so there.
Yeah.
It just wants to torture me.
Sayori! I grabbed Sayori by the shoulders. What on earth are you saying? Are you listening to yourself right now? I know something happened to you. There's no other explanation for you to be like this. So tell me. Already. Oh my god, girl. What the fuck?
Because I'm going to get into your space and grab hold of you.
I won't be able to stop thinking about it. Sayori gives me an empty smile.
You've really put me in a trap, Splat. I'm trying not to tell you things, but you're wrong. Nothing happened to me. I've always been like this. You've just never noticed. I mean, you're just seeing it for the first time.
Seeing what? What are you talking about, Sayori?
I've been in love with you since we met in preschool, okay? It's a trope. You're really just going to make me say it, aren't you, Splat? I guess I have no choice this time.
This time?
The thing is, I've had really bad depression my whole life. Oh my god, it gets real. That is so cool. Did you know that? The reason I'm a mess and I'm tired and I'm exhausted, I'm worn out and everything is a burden to me, my friend called it, we both called it, and the game just admits it. That's so sweet and I love that. Here's your one subversion, okay?
Yeah, right?
Pep, instead of I've been in love with you, it's I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm late to school every day? Because most days I can't even find a reason to get out of bed. What reason is there to do anything when I fully know how worthless I am and potentially how pointless it all is. Why go to school? Why eat? Why make friends? Why do anything? Why make other people put their energy and caring to waste by having them spend it on me, who's worthless? That's what it all feels like. And that's why I just want to make everyone happy, so they don't ever have to feel like me, without anyone worrying about me.
I'm in shock. I can't even figure out how to respond. How is it possible that Sayori kept this from me the entire time that I have known her?
Even though I have literally paid no attention to her ever.
I know! Wait, why should I care? Did she really want so badly for me to just not think about her? Why, Sayori? Why is it that you've never told me about this? It almost feels like I've been betrayed as your close friend. Because if I knew, I would have done everything I could to support you. Even if there's only so much that I could do. I'm going to make this about me.
We're also still holding Sayori's shoulders while we're doing this.
Yeah, pretty much. I would have tried a little bit harder to make every day a little better for you. That's why I'm your friend. All you had to do was tell me.
Okay, let me unpack that for a second. So there's this level of, if you told me what was going on, then I would have, done stuff for you because of it, that thing that's going on. Not, I would do things for you and pay attention to you and care about you anyways without knowing there was a special reason for it.
Yes.
Also, conversely though, if this character had not been such an asshole, it is really great to tell your friends what's actually going on and people you trust, because they can't always divine it, especially if you are trying to protect them from it. So from Splat's response, going, well, now I know what variables to work from and I know the action to take to do the things. But from, if there was this person had been painted as a genuine friend who was caring and attentive to and didn't constantly devalue and criticize Sayori, I would tend to say it's really cool that Sayori's sharing and that they're then showing a piece of support.
Yeah.
But your entire precedent matters. There's this thing that happens in anime a lot, especially with male characters that are meant to be essentially the desirable character to the viewer.
Right.
Let alone whoever the protagonist is, the desirable character to the viewer, okay?
Right.
And that what they will do is behave shitty and invasive and dismissive and controlling all over the place, and then you will their love interest,
right,
usually a girl, will then be vulnerable and basically open with them in one scene, and they'll be like, actually, I am super aware of you, and I do really care about you, and I really want to connect you. And they'll basically make a verbal gesture like this of, if I knew how you were feeling, I would have done things completely differently. And then they go back to behaving the same way, except for that sort of one slight concession in reference to very specific instances.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make them a nice or good person because they can do nice or good things sometimes. It also doesn't make them a good friend because they can do nice things sometimes.
Yeah, which was why I like this line.
You don't understand at all, Splat. Why do you think I didn't tell you? Because if I told you, then you would have to waste effort caring about me instead of doing important things.
Yep.
I would say there's that, but there's also the level of going, we wouldn't be able to just be friends if you're staring at me through a depression lens.
Yeah.
So there is this level of, from having known a lot of people who were in profound emotional pain much of my life, depression runs in my family in several diagnosable forms. And so a lot of people in my family have friends that are all depressed as well, because, you connect on something. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's people attract each other with similar challenges, sometimes because they can relate. So I've been around a huge amount of depressed people in my life. And, there's this experience sometimes of going, I don't want anyone to know, because then all they'll do is look at me like someone who's hurting, someone who's sensitive, someone who's delicate.
Yeah.
And it is really this level of going, there's an importance in finding out, basically, sort of building that relationship. Not finding out who someone is, but building a relationship where if it feels like they're babying you all the time or only reacting to your depression and not treating you like, quote, a real person or a regular person. Sort of like if someone's only treating you as, like, your gender or as a social role you're in or as whatever qualifier there might be. Going, you don't treat me like a friend anymore, now you just treat me like a girlfriend.
Right.
Then building that relationship through communication, providing you want to continue it, is really, really important. And then going, this behavior doesn't mean it's the end of the road, but it means we need to work on what it looks like and do something else.
Right.
Let's say, I don't want to be cared about. It's bittersweet when people try to care about me. It feels nice sometimes, but it also feels like a bat being swung against my head. That's why I wanted so badly for you to make friends with everyone else. Because I plan on not being around, is what this sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Helping everyone be happy together is the best thing for me. So... But then I discovered something else, too. Seeing you make friends and get closer with everyone in the club, it feels like a spear going through my heart. So that's why I decided the world just wants to torture me.
My goodness, child, you desperately need to see like a therapist / somebody who can... So there's a thing where people go, oh, you just say you need to go get drugs. And I'm like, sometimes because it is a medical thing in your brain that you don't have the thing that other people have that keep them from going to this space, going and getting help from a psychologist or a psychiatrist, really, because a psychiatrist is the one who can prescribe drugs. Working through that process, even if it sucks, and I get that, but it's trying to make a change, and it is really trying to do something else. Like, I'm having this time going, like, she really needs help, and this idea also that your main character could be like, oh, I could just help you, is really frustrating, because in a lot of cases, you really can't.
There's a couple of things here that I think are really important. One, professional help really, really can help, but it can be challenging to receive. And professional help doesn't always look like medicine, though it can be medicine. I've been resistant to any kind of medication my whole life just because, well, it's complicated. But I have a very complicated relationship with medication. However, there have been a lot of people in my life that it has helped dramatically. However, for most of them, it has been a long trial of an error process of finding the right medication.
Right.
But many people in my life have actually recovered or had massive leaps of success through talk therapy, where they go, I don't want to go to a therapist because they'll just tell me to get on drugs. But therapists can't make you get on drugs at all. And they're not going to stop talking to you because of drugs. And if you encounter a therapist that goes, well, if you won't take the drugs, then I don't know how this is going to help you, then that is not a good therapist for you.
Oh, hell no.
Period. So the thing is therapists are people. So if you go, well, I went to a therapist and it didn't help. A therapist may not be the right therapist for you, that specific one,
Right.
And so it's really important to realize that they're people. And no matter what their training is, they're going to approach things from different directions. So don't be afraid to try different therapists. And you don't have to necessarily click immediately. It could be a relationship you build over time. If they're providing you help, you can go, okay, here's the usefulness I'm getting out of this, even if there's some things that don't feel great to me, and sort of see if the help outweighs the not great, or if you can build a better relationship. Or you can go, I've tried it a few times. This person is a really bad match for me. Don't force yourself through it. Just go and try someone else. If you're trying to make friends, you don't immediately go, well, I tried friends once and it didn't work out, so I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, that's not the normal response to human interaction, and therapists are the same way. Like, and I'm not saying that's a bad response to human interaction, because sometimes when you're really depressed, you go, I tried one time and that's it, I'm done, it hurt. And I appreciate that. That wasn't what that was meant to be. But it's really a thing of like, she needs help and support, and professional help and support, because your young friend isn't going to have the tools and resources to engage with this. And I'm also just like, your parents don't exist, do they?
No, not at all.
That's why I decided the world just wants to torture me. Every path leads to nothing but hurt. Paying attention to you, not paying attention to you, having you pay attention to me, not having you pay attention to me. Everything's painful.
You're right that I don't understand. I don't understand your feelings at all, Sayori, but I don't need to understand. Whatever it takes for me to help you to stop hurting, that's what I'll do.
No, Splat. There's nothing at all that you could ever do. The only thing that could have helped is if everything could be like it always was. Whoa. Hang on.
Wait.
That is a little bit wild. Not going, the only thing that could have helped was basically if I didn't spiral into this, or if I didn't feel the way I do, or if I don't react to things the way I do. She's like, basically, if the past stayed crystallized the way it was. And if that's supposed to be a meta response of, you have to stay at the beginning of the game where nothing ever changes.
Right.
Or if that's a literal thing of going, only my younger childhood was happy. But she says, I've always been depressed.
Right.
So you don't have happy memories of childhood based on what you've just said. So what are you talking about?
Right. I'm also like, but you were selfish because what? Like, I'm still trying to figure out what instance we're talking about.
Right.
Here.
What catalysted the it didn't stay that way.
Right.
But I was selfish. I finally showed you what a horrible person I am. When?
What?
How?
Tears streak down Sayori's face.
Maybe I made you join the literature club because I was selfish. And I was punished by my heart hurting in a way that I couldn't understand. And now you came here and it made you hurt too.
Well, I know this is a terrible note to end on.
Whoa.
But thank you very much, guys, though, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos. If you're having a hard time, I also recommend definitely that you just reach out and go get help. Solidly. I know it's scary, and I know it's difficult. Sometimes it really is just going, talk therapy is a good thing. Really, sometimes just talking is amazing, and being able to have that basic connection, even though it is in that way basic or simplistic, is better than not. There's also that thing too of sometimes recognizing that what you might also be struggling with is basically in an environment that doesn't support you, and that doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you deserve these things happening to you. It could really be stuff that's out of your control, and that happens a lot. God, I've seen so many people being like, I was thrown out of my house, or I live in an abusive situation. They just have a horrible time. And even if that's not something that's happening to you, your feelings and your experience is valid because you're not them. You are that unique human being. What I always like telling people, as far as I understand it, is a literal scientific fact that due to the literal complexity of the human DNA and the way that DNA shifts and changes throughout a person's life, which it does, you are so unique, your DNA pattern does not exist at any point in any time in human history.
Yeah.
Despite the billions upon billions of people who have existed on this entire planet. And you are very special and you are very unique in that way. And the thing is, too, is embrace that.
And at the same time, you may not have the skills by yourself right now to do what you need to do. But reaching out can help you build new skills, find new resources. The same way we can learn new skills on the internet, or, meet new friends and learn new things about them, or just, make connections. That as you try to engage with what's going on, as long as your intent is to learn and you pay attention to what's happening, you ask questions, that kind of thing, you will be able to find more awareness in yourself and get there. And I have been super frustrated with going, I'm depressed, and people go, well, I'm here for you to talk. And I'm like, I don't need to talk. I need solutions. I have been one of those huge people going, I don't want to talk about it. I want to change it. And working with a therapist where I ask for tools to change it, things I can do that make it different. Specifically telling the therapist what I'm after. Not I want specific things, because sometimes you don't know specifically what you want.
Of course not.
But going, I want something different instead of just talking about it can be really, really important. So it's important to learn sort of even verbal communication tools where if you run into a wall trying to get the help you want, to come at that from a different direction and go, okay, you're telling me to talk about it, and talk about it isn't helping. So what else is there? Kind of thing. And it doesn't have to be a hopeless what else is there. It can just be what else is there.
Right. There are also some really basic things that you can do as well. And they might not apply to you, but they are ideas for at any time where you might think that you are having problems. One, are you engaging in material that actively hurts you or harms you, that makes you depressed? It's something that's come up that's called doom scrolling, especially with a lot of the shit that's going on currently right now in the United States. If you live here and you've been having a lot of crap going on, I think there's a fair number of the population that would have, I think, some reason to be pretty depressed about some of it. There's also the thing of, have you eaten anything? Have you drunk water? Have you gotten enough sleep? I know it sounds stupid, but have you tried basically changing your environment? Whether that is going outside for a while, walking around.
Or again, a different room of the house.
Right, different room of the house. Engage in trying to do something different. Try watching something maybe that is even more ridiculously upbeat than you would normally want to watch. Try listening to happier music. Or sometimes, if you need to, listen to the darker stuff for a while. Actually just do it and let it go and cry about it. But also recognize that is a part of a process, not just a thing to get lost in.
It's not the end.
Yeah.
If it is situational depression, such as the experience of your life is depressing you, you, even if in this moment you can't change it, as you seek for ways to change it, you will be able to. There's this really cool book called This Is How. And it's very cynical. It is incredibly direct. But I will link it in the video. We'll just put a reminder for ourselves. It covers basically how even someone in the most desperate of ridiculously controlled situations can make choices to change things, and those choices may not be comfortable and they may be very unknown what the result will be, but you still can change your environment and experience something new if you just need to.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into great detail on that here because I don't want to give anyone any direct advice. I think that the author handled it really well, expositing how choices exist and how you can be aware of what your choices are, because a lot of times when we're in an environment that we feel like is completely out of our own control and is just oppressing or hurting us, then there can be this very strong experience of going, there's no reason to live because I have no options, and slowly becoming aware of what control and what options you do have is the start.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well, also at the same time, too, if you like what we do, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or our Patreon. We got some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies. And it was great playing with you. Bye!